Hello, welcome to Calling All Kids. I'm your storyteller, Jennifer Temple. Hi, my friends. Today I have a special treat for you. We're going to be reading our stories on a boat. Are you ready to see where I am? Let's take a look around. I'm actually at a marina. A marina is where boats tie up and stay when they're not out traveling. You can hear a train in the background, not too far. So this is the back of the boat, and the back of the boat is called the stern. There's places to sit here, and then we can go right up here to the helm where the captain drives the boat. And I'm going down the right side of the boat, and the right side of a boat is called the starboard. We're walking down. You can see us tied up at the dock here. And walking down to the front of the boat, and this is called the bow. And we have an anchor here, so if we're not tied up to the dock, you can see all the other boats tied up here. And then the other side, the left side of the boat, is called the port side. You can see the helm there where the captain drives. So the helm is where the steering wheel is and all the navigational tools. And we're going right back up. And we're going to go down into the cabin. So if it gets cold or windy, we can go down into the cabin and we can sleep down there. Yes. So let's walk down. So we go down into the cabin. And you'll see we have a couch here. And you know, the couch here pulls out into a bed so we can have people sleep there. And here's the kitchen. On a boat, we call the kitchen a galley. We have an oven and microwave. We can cook whole meals here. And then we go down and into a bedroom, but on a boat, we call it a stateroom. And you'll see the window up above. That is a hatch. So we can climb out that way if we need to. And then we have little windows on either side. These are called portholes. And then we come over to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, it is called a head. We call it a head on a boat, the bathroom. So this is where we're going to read our stories today, here on our boat. I hope you enjoy our stories. Both stories we're going to read today have to do with boats. And I'll be using some of the terminology that I just shared with you. You will find them or hear them in the books we're going to read. So you ready? Let's go. Get comfy. Here we go. Friends, are we ready to hear some fun stories that have to do with boats? And a lot of the terminology I just showed you when we were touring the boat, you will see and hear in our books. Our first book is called Captain Jack and the Pirates. It's written by Peter Bentley and Helen Oxenberry. Now, Peter Bentley wrote the words, the story, and Helen Oxenberry made the illustrations. Now, this is about 3 friends that are at the beach, and they're using their imagination, and they actually build a boat out of sand. Now, I've built sandcastles out of sand. Have you ever built a boat out of sand? Let's read Captain Jack and the Pirates. The illustrations, Captain Jack and the Pirates. Jack, Zack, and Casper, brave mariners 3, were building a galleon down by the sea. Now, a galleon is a large sailing ship. I'm on a motorboat, but this is going to be about a sailing ship. Up rose the sides and the stern and the bow, the front and the back. Zach, the ship's bosun, worked hard on the prow. Now the prow sticks out very far in the front of the bow. The prow sticks out of the bow and it helps to break through the big waves, so it makes it safer when you're on the ocean. A stick for the mainmast and one for the yard. Tying the two sticks together was hard. A shirt and a bib, an inflatable ring. For cannons, 3 buckets were just the right thing. Look how they're using their imagination to make cannons. They're using their sand buckets and their inner tube for a life ring. And there stood the galleon, a fit for the fray, as brave Captain Jack ordered, "Anchors away!" Look how they use the sand to build up the sides, the port and starboard side of the ship. They hoisted the mainsail, the flag was unfurled, and Jack and his pirates set off around the world. Through oceans unknown, many miles from the land, sailed Swashbuckling Jack and his buccaneer band. So they're pretending they're out on the ocean and they're pirates. And off they go. Oh, look at them here. "Ahoy, men!" cried Jack with a chortle of pleasure. "An enemy pirate ship laden with treasure." So they see a pirate ship, and laden with treasure means lots of treasures on board. "Steer a course after them, good bosun Jack." And Zach answered brightly, "Aye, aye, Captain Jack. Aye, aye." They always listen to the captain. Oh, look at them coming up to this big pirate ship in the fog. "Casper, take care of the cannons," Jack said. "Look sharp in the crow's nest, cabin boy Ted." As they closed in, every man did his duty, hungry for glory and enemy booty. Now, booty in this case means treasure. Oh, arg! Let's look at all the pirates on the ship. They're concerned about who's coming near them. They're trying to protect their treasure. Uh-oh. Their proud pirate flag fluttered high in the breeze, and then the ship sailed into stormier seas. Down came the rain as the hurricane roared. Down came the sail, and then... so they're pretending they're in a big storm. Do you think they're really in a storm? Or are they just pretending? Let's find out. And then, look what's happening to their galleon ship. The water has come in, the tide has come in and is starting to wash away their sand ship. The sides of the galleon started to slip. "Quick!" cried the captain. "Abandon the ship." Have you ever made a castle and then the tide came in and washed it away? Well, that's what's happening here. Jack and his shipmates all struggled ashore. "We're marooned on an island," he cried. "Let's explore." "Those enemy pirates were shipwrecked here before. Let's hunt for their treasure," said Jack to his crew. So they're helping each other out. Now they're going to pretend that they're searching a marooned island for treasure. "Casper, stay here while we hunt, and we will see what we find," said Zach. "Just in case we're attacked from behind. So they want Casper to stand on watch in case the pirates come. The captain and boatswain spied out the view, and then a loud voice cried out, "Jack, is that you?" Who do you think that is calling? "The enemy pirates," hissed Jack to his mate. "We must rescue Casper before it's too late." So they're pretending that whoever's calling are the pirates. They ran down the hill, and Jack cried, "Oh ho! Brave little Casper has seen off the foe. And look, here's their hideout." Jack hollered with joy. "The pirates have fled, lads. And do you think they're going to go into their hideout? Let's find out. Treasure, ahoy!" Look what they found, all these yummy things. Jack and his shipmates all gasped in delight as they hungrily stared at the glorious sight. Look at, there's cupcakes and cake and all kinds of goodies. "Right there, right, let's divide up our booty," said Jack. "Caught you," a voice cried. "Ah, the pirates were back." Remember, they're pretending. Are they the real pirates? Who do you think it is? It's their mom and dad. There was no point in struggling. Their hopes were all wrecked. Jack sighed. "Oh, now we'll all walk the plank, I expect." But those pirates were friendly. They shared out their treasures and added 3 ice creams. See Dad bringing him 3 ice creams? Just for good measure. They used quite the imagination, didn't they? And they're enjoying their ice creams, and then they have fun with Mom and Dad and their teddy at the end. I hope you use your imagination when you're at the beach. Maybe instead of building a sandcastle, you might want to build a galleon. And you could teach everyone that that's a big sailing ship. What do you think? Hope you enjoyed that story, Captain Jack and the Pirates. The next story I have is called Toy Boat. And this is about a little boy that actually makes the boat out of things he finds around his house. So maybe that's something you could do. And this is written by Randall DeSave and Lauren Long. Toy Boat. Toy Boat. Let's see how he makes this toy boat. Here he is. A little boy had a toy boat. He made it from a can, a cork, a yellow pencil, and some white cloth. The boy loved the boat, and they were never apart. They would have baths together. Look, he can play with his toy boat in the bath, and he even slept with his toy boat. It was a very special toy. Do you have a special toy like that you just want to keep with you at all times? And every day they would go down to the lake and sail all afternoon. The boy held the boat by a string and never let go. Most of the time, this was nice for the boat, but sometimes the little toy boat would look out at the big boats gliding across the lake and wonder what it would be like to sail free. Do you think he would be safe out there in the middle of the lake with the big boats? I think he's kind of tiny, right? Oh no, look what happened here. One blustery afternoon, a dark cloud rolled over the lake. The boy's mom pulled him back toward the house. Her tug made him drop the boat's string. The boy cried out as the little toy boat floated away. Boat, he called, boat. But nothing could be done. So here's the boat drifting out to sea in the storm, and he looks like he's riding a big giant wave. Do you think the boat is a little scared? And how do you think the boy is feeling? His favorite toy? Look at this. Wind and rain pushed the little toy boat into the deep water. There it bobbed on high waves topped with foam. You see the boat there? Oh, hope he doesn't tip over. In time, a black and green tug with a row of old tires on its side chugged past. Its windows looked like tired eyes that seemed to say, "Move along," as it pushed the little toy boat aside with its wake. So wake here, you see this big wave that the boat is making as it moves along? That is called the wake. And so this big wave is pushing the little boat. Scary. The little boat worked so hard to stay afloat, it almost didn't see the giant fairy coming in its path. The fairy had 2 flags and a red smokestack and a horn that bellowed, "Move along!" A gust of wind blew the little toy boat out of the way just in time. Doesn't this kind of look like a face, the eyes, and his mouth on the front of the fairy? Oh my goodness, look at this boat. A speedboat raced by, flat and sharp with flames on its side. The motor screamed. Its draft made the little boat sail quiver. Look at this, he's really getting washed away by the wake of the speedboat. And look at the face on the speedboat. Does this kind of look like teeth and eyes? Can you see the little toy boat over here? Feeling small and scared, the little toy boat drifted out toward a fleet of sailboats, racing home to get out of the rain. Now, these sailboats are really big compared to the little toy boat down here. The little toy boat neared a large sloop. Its hull was white and its sails were trimmed in blue. For a moment, the 2 boats cut through the choppy waves side by side. You can see him over here. And the little boat felt big, that he was sailing along with the sloop. Then the white boat tilted high on its side, spraying the little toy boat with water, warning, "Move along." They're not having patience for this little toy boat, are they? Oh, look at the little boat. Its hull near full. Remember, hull is the bottom of the boat, so it's all full of water. Its sails soaked. The little toy boat looked like it was about to sink. How he missed the boy. Do you think he's going to survive and make it back safely? There he is. Under the yellow moon, the little toy boat drifted all night, alone and scared. But then, early in the morning, put, 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 it was a humble little fishing boat, way out in the middle of the lake. Its paint was peeling, and had dents on the side, and it knew how it felt to be pushed around on the lake. The fishing boat spied the little toy boat and carefully began to circle it. As it did, something wonderful happened. So he's circling around the little toy boat. What do you think happened that was so wonderful? Ready to find out? The little toy boat began to turn as well, and its sail caught a breeze. Soon it was sailing, really sailing, alongside the fishing boat, and the little toy boat felt strong. I'm moving along, it shouted to the wind. And I bet as it was moving, do you think some of the water came out of the hull so it wasn't ready to sink anymore? He was very proud of himself. It felt so good that he didn't notice when the fishing boat moored on. It didn't notice that the stone beach or the yellow branch on the yellow bench on the nearby shore. And it didn't notice the boy waving. Not until he called out, "Boat! Boat!" The little toy boat waved its sail excitedly, and the boy waved back. They're happy to see, and here's the little boat coming in, and here's his friend. That night, the boy and the toy boat had a bath together. They slept together. They were inseparable. The next day, they went down to the lake together. The boy held the boat by a string, but every so often he would let go. But the little toy boat always came back. It knew just where it wanted to be with his friend, the boy. What a special story about a little boy, and he made a boat and their special toy and the adventures. So the little boat knows what it's like now to be out in the middle of the lake, doesn't he? And he feels safer to be on the string. But every now and then he ventures out. Now, I was wondering, like when you go to the beach, you could make a boat, or if you're at home, you could make your own boat. So you know what I did? I was looking around on my boat here and wondering, how could I make a boat? So I found some tin foil, and I'm just going to make a quick boat using a piece of tin foil. But you could use anything you can find around your house to make a boat, just like the little boy did. He used a can and a cork and a pencil and a piece of cloth. But if you just get a piece of foil, have a parent help you tear it, and I'm folding it in half to make it a little more durable. And then I'm going to fold up the sides. Do you remember what the sides are called? The port side and the starboard side. And then I'm going to make the bow. The bow is usually a little pointy, and I'm just going to fold that over like this so the water won't get in. And I'm going to flatten it a little bit. I'll show you what I'm doing. Flattening the bottom. And then I'm going to bring the stern up. Now the stern is usually a little wider. You can pinch the sides here. And you can make it any way that you want to make. I'm just making a quick little way. And now I have my little boat with remember the bottom of the hull and the bow and the stern and the port side and the starboard side. And now I could put this in a little bucket of water, bring in the bathtub and see if it will sail. Maybe I could even add a pencil sticking out and put a sail on it. You can be as creative as you want at home and look for things, maybe even use a cup, or you could find a can and use like the little boy did. But I hope you'll have a great time exploring, and when you're at the beach or wherever you may be. But I hope you enjoyed hearing our stories here about boats on my boat. So great to see you all on Calling All Kids. I hope you'll join me another time for the next reading of Calling All Kids. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye, everybody.